Hey guys, this is Cam, Oregon Knife Guy. And today I'm going to do my version of the open tag going around. I think it's like a budget 6 or synthetic 6. I don't know. I might even have more than 6. But I'm going to show some budget knives that I picked up. And they all have synthetic handles. Hopefully I'm in frame. I guess no sun. I'm alright. Okay. So I'm going to start with one I picked up yesterday. This is a Wenger or Wenger. I don't know the model. This one has scissors and a pair of pliers, which are fairly awesome. They have the opening jaw. I don't know how much you could do with this. They also have the hole for wire stripping or wire cutting. Pretty fantastic, really. So it's got the can opener with the wire stripping notch, or bottle opener with the big screwdriver and wire stripping notch. It's got the can opener, pair of scissors, it's got the big regular blade, and everybody's favorite secondary, the clip blade. I guess it's also got a round Phillips on the back and a reamer. No sewing eye, just all or reamer. It's got the toothpick and tweezers the way Wenger does, tucked in nicely on the inside. Or I guess it's the same hole, but you have to pull it from the inside of the scale. So there's that. Next, I'm going to go into a few that are in my favorite pattern. Well, one of my favorite patterns. This is a Craftsman penknife. It's like a serpentine penknife. It's got a clip blade and a pin blade. These, I believe, were made by Schrade. This is a jig Delrin. This one has, Wenger's plastic or whatever that material is. Delrin penknife. The jigging looks nice. It's a really well-made knife. I'm going to do a few penknives. So this is a queen penknife with Delrin. It's supposed to look like Winterbottom bone. It's got a clip blade and a pin blade. Nice queen. Office knife. This, I believe, is synthetic. At first I thought it was bone. It's got a chip in it, which made me think it was natural material, but when I did my video, a lot of people told me that there's no way it was bone or ivory. I'm still not positive, but I'm going to go with what everybody said and call it Bakelite, maybe. And this was a Paxton, and all right, got to do it. I don't know if you guys have seen this. It was an Explorer. I took it apart, made it a 2-layer with an inline Phillips and a magnifying glass. I use this all the time. I know this isn't great for Paxton's the first part. It's hard for me to read this tang stamp, and I don't want to spend too much time trying. Omaha, it says Paxton and Gallagher. Omaha. Love this old knife. I don't think I mentioned, but I also paid very little for all these knives. Budget bangers. Paid $25 for this yesterday. This knife I picked up for like $5. This knife I paid $20 for. This, I think I paid $30 for this. Next, and the reason I think that Craftsman was made by Schrade is a little Schrade Stockman. I got this with the Vanger, same day. Great little Stockman, almost full blades. Got great action. The main blade's a little slow, and I have oiled it, but so I don't know if I can get much more out of it. But if you hold these two up, this knife, $5. I couldn't get my money out fast enough. But if you hold these two up, they are the same frame, and the clip blades are almost identical. I think any differences that we're seeing is just in maybe age. Maybe the tooling started to wear out. I think this knife is older than this knife because this is a Schrade Walden and Mark Schrade Walden. And this is a Craftsman made by Schrade. I think that this was made first. Don't quote me on any of that. More of a knife enthusiast than a knife historian. All right. Winchester. It's not a full 4-inch toothpick. It's not a 3-inch toothpick. It's like 3 3/8. It's a good size for a toothpick. I paid $40 for this knife. I'm hoping that still falls into our budget category. This is their rough black synthetic. Great knife. K-bar boy's knife or small jack. Got a clip main, the pin secondary. These blades are starting to get some patina bordering on rust spots. I'm going to need to clean this knife. I use this knife for whittling a lot. It's got super thin blade stock, and it is a beast. All right. Now we're coming to my two favorites. And I know that I've already done, let's see, I've already done 7, and I was supposed to do 6. It's kind of throwing the 6 synthetic and the budget all together. All of those knives, with the exception of the toothpick and the K-bar I got in this last year. This knife I also did not get in this last year, but I'm going to do this one last. So here is my Camillus. This is a Camillus Stockman, equal end, Spearmaster, just a gorgeous looking blade. It's got a spay that, can take it or leave it. I don't mind it, but I don't use it either. And then a pen, which is very useful. This knife I cleaned, polished, and then blued. I picked up this knife for $35 on Etsy, and I feel it was a steal. Camillus, at least back when this knife was made, could really make a knife. They are one of the great American knife manufacturers. And I love this. I think this is celluloid or bakelite. I'm not sure which. That black and whatever's mixed in is just awesome. It's like a black and tan. I love it. Been carrying this knife. All right. And here is probably my favorite of the bunch. This is my Imperial cattle knife, and it's another equal end Stockman pattern. With this one has a punch blade. This has a beautiful clip point with a swedge. It's got a spay, a fat, really thin spay, and then it has this super sharp punch or awl. This knife is fantastic. It's a really well-made knife. Imperial, back in the day, could really make a knife also. I know they turned really, really budget towards the end of their running, but back when this knife was made, they were killing it. Like, this knife dates to the early 50s or something. I don't remember exactly. It's been a long time since I dated this knife. I've had this one for quite a while. And this knife, I think I paid the most for. I think I paid $45 for it. I hope that still falls in the budget category. And that's all I got for that. Might as well do a recap on this. This is my Ontario Rat 3. We took this camping. I use this knife every day for every cutting task for the most part, for 8 days up in the mountains. Knife did great. The coating didn't hold up so well, but can't really expect it to. I was batoning firewood and all sorts of stuff. Micarta is definitely starting to get patinaed or dirty. Great knife, cuts good. I like the thickness of the blade stock. It's not super thick, but it's not thin enough that you think it's going to break. Just really useful. It was a very useful knife while we were camping. And then that leads me to my pocket check. Today I carried my Sebenza 31. I know, big surprise. I've been carrying it almost every day since Father's Day. Love this knife. I cannot rave about it enough. It is just the best cutting knife I have. The only thing that I don't like about it is those thumb studs. They are sharp. They hurt your fingers to use. I I saw a couple guys who grind down that front knob until it's flat and say that that fixes it. I'm going to try that. If that doesn't do it, I already got thumb studs, and I will either do a video on how I change them or at least show the before and after. In my belt, I also had the Arthur Wright Lamb's Foot Barlow, the ebony wood. It's a fantastic knife. You know, Arthur Wright's knives for slip joints have a pretty thick blade stock, in my opinion. I mean, they're making more of a harder use slip joint. Their springs are super strong. I mean, you could not accidentally close this. I mean, even if you bumped it on something, it's not going to close. It's gator snap status. So that's all I got for you today. My name's Cameron. I'm the Oregon Knife Guy. You guys have a great weekend.